Harun, welcome. You're watching NewsX Deep Dive. I'm Udar Pratap Singh. Today we are asking a question that has sparked a digital uprising. A question that was asked by a single mother who just lost her 23-year-old son. At 11:57 a.m. on the 3rd of February, Delhi police received a PCR call reporting a serious road accident near Lal Bahadur Shastri College under the Dwarka South police station limits. When officers reached the spot, they found 3 vehicles involved in a collision: a Scorpio SUV, a Desire taxi and a motorcycle. Sahil Dhanesha, a 23-year-old young man who was riding the motorcycle, was declared dead on the spot. The Swift Desire taxi driver, Ajit Singh, was injured and rushed to IGI hospital. But it was what followed after the crash, not just the crash itself, that would ignite public outrage and raise troubling questions about accountability, privilege and the limits of the law. The driver of the Scorpio was a 70-year-old without a driving license because he was a minor. He was produced before the Juvenile Justice Board and sent to an observation home. A week later on, February 10th, the board granted him interim bail. The reason cited was that the juvenile was appearing for his Class 10 board examinations. On the other hand, the autopsy report of Sahil leaves no room for doubt about the severity of the impact caused by the SUV driven by the juvenile. Doctors recorded a massive subdural hematoma, extensive brain trauma, multiple rib fractures and severe injuries to vital organs including the liver and spleen. There was blood in the chest cavity, the esophagus and the pharynx. Medical experts concluded that Sahil died of hemorrhage, shock due to craniocerebral injury combined with multi-organ damage. The death was classified as a spot death, meaning Sahil never stood a chance. Now, a key detail in the case has been released. A social media reel allegedly shot by the juvenile himself has surfaced online. The video shows moments before the crash. The video is on your screen, where you can see the motorcycle can be seen just after the yellow bus. The girl filming the video is allegedly the sister of the 17-year-old boy. The second key development is a plea video released by Sahil's mother. For Sahil's family, the pain is immeasurable. Known as Kabir to his mother, Sahil was her only child. She had raised him alone for 23 years. He was in the final semester of his BBA course and preparing to leave India in September to pursue a master's degree in Manchester. Admission secured, future planned, life just beginning, and then in one violent moment, it was all erased. Let's listen into what the mother said after the 17-year-old SUV killer was given interim bail.
मैं इना साहिल धनेश्रा की मदर, सिंगल पेरेंट। मैंने अपने बच्चे को 23 साल से एज ए सिंगल मदर पाला है और एक रईसजादे की स्कॉर्पियो जो कि स्पीड की रील और स्टंट मारने के लिए अपने घर से गाड़ी लेके निकले थे, अनलाइसेंस्ड। उस लड़के को गाड़ी चलानी भी नहीं आती। ही वॉज अनलाइसेंस्ड ड्राइवर। उसने 3 फरवरी को मेरे मासूम बच्चे को अपनी गाड़ी से ऑन द स्पॉट उड़ा दिया। वो मेरे बच्चे को उड़ा दिया उसने। आई एम ए हेल्पलेस मदर अलोन। आई रिक्वेस्ट ऑल मीडिया and people of Dwarka to come forward to help me, please. I request, I beg as a mother, please save your children. Please save your children and help me also.
Look at this Instagram page titled Justice for Kabir Sahil, which has begun amplifying the case. On your screens, you can see how a community has been mobilized. Here are posts asking for justice for Sahil, especially after the SUV driver was given bail and Sahil's mother came forward. The creator of the page has posted reels with Sahil's picture montages. One of the posts reads, Sahil Dhanesha, lovingly called Kabir, was 23, an only child. He lost his father at a young age and was carrying every responsibility on his shoulders. Another post reads, every day is a reminder of a life taken too soon and a mother who is still waiting to be heard. We refuse to let his name fade or this story slow down. Can the trauma of a mother be weighed against an examination schedule? Can the promise of juvenile reform erase the finality of death? And at what point does reckless behavior, especially when documented for social media, stop being a mistake and start becoming culpable violence? The bail granted is interim. The investigation is ongoing. The case is not ended. For the public watching closely, this case is no longer just about one incident. It is about the growing culture of impunity on Indian roads, about minors behind the wheel of powerful vehicles, and about a system that often appears gentler to the accused than to the dead. Dr. Swati Jindal Garg, AOR Supreme Court, is joining us live. Dr. Garg, this is a big wake-up call. Anyone would shudder hearing the mother's cries. Her son is gone. She's a single parent. her only son, her only child is gone, and the main accused is out on interim bail already.
Well, very unfortunate state of affairs, as we all know. But apparently, we all need a wake-up call like this at least once a year. I remember these accidents, they happen, then there is a huge hue and cry. In fact, when terrible things happen, certain changes are also made to the Juvenile Justice Act. We bring in people between 16 to 18, I'm sure you all know that happened pursuant to the Nirbhaya case. But all to no avail. Today, the Juvenile Justice Board has given interim bail on the basis that the boy has 10th class exams. Well, I understand that mistakes happen, but when mistakes are happening due to the callous behavior of somebody who was not even authorized to drive, do they actually deserve such leniency? If it was only the question of him giving his exams, that could have been given inside jail also. Considering that from what I have read, the boy is 17 years old, he can very well be taken into that ambit where he can be tried as an adult and the Bharatiya Nyaya Samhita will be applicable to him and not the Juvenile Justice Act. We cannot fail to keep in mind that a precious life has gone. And that life has gone because somebody who was not authorized to drive was driving rashly. And looking at the fact that this reel has just come into picture, that rash and negligent act was being done deliberately, maybe to show off, maybe to have fun. What do we know? Every time something like this happens, we try to make it an example in order to tell everyone that such acts should not, must not be repeated. But do we ever put a dent in the nature of the people who will continue to behave recklessly, is what I ask.
Yes, Dr. Garg, also, this is a reminder at why the system must be reformed. These wake-up calls are not needed every year or every few months, as you're saying. One life lost in this manner should be enough for the system to wake up and reform and change itself. What reforms are needed and how soon should we expect them?
Reforms are definitely needed and we need them yesterday. I mean, we are already too late. What we need to put across to everyone out there is, let it not be a media frenzy before something is taken seriously. So today, if this reel had not surfaced, or if the social media and the media as such as we see today had not been after this case, I am sure the person would have gone scot-free and nobody would have known about it. How sad it is that for a mother who's only the nearest and closest person that she had brought up all these years, being a single mother, how sad it is that instead of being given time to grieve, she is spending this time putting her case across on social media platforms so that she can ensure that justice is done. See, her son will never come back, but the fact that the Juvenile Justice Board has given an interim bail on the flimsy excuse that the board exams should not or must not be missed, without looking into the fact that these exams, if that was the only case, then these exams could have been given from inside the jail, as I said. Well, the reforms are needed today, and just by roping into the BNS ambit a minor who falls within 16 to 18 bracket and putting the entire onus on the juvenile board to assess as to whether the juvenile had the maturity to understand the significance or the outcome of his acts is not enough. We need to pull up our laws. We need to ensure that the culprits do not get away.
All right, Dr. Garga, thank you very much for joining us with your perspective on this segment.